I dedicated my whole life to achieve this or be the best version of myself. The mind decides who's gonna take first and who's gonna take second or third.
What does it feel like living in Hunter's Head rent-free?
I'm doing everything I can to stay here and push the boundaries, push the limits of the sport.
PEDs in HYROX.
If somebody knocks on the door and let's say, hey, Alex, let's get some tests, that would be more interesting. I hope this was a big inspiration for a lot of athletes out there who are struggling. You never know when you get your big breakthrough. Mine took me 25 years, but now I'm really at the top of this sport.
If you could send a 60-second video to every HYROX participant in the world, what would you say to them? Alex, I wondered if we could start by you telling us what it was like growing up.
Yeah, it's a couple of years ago, but I mean, I was like related to sports. I was always like into sports, always running around, climbing trees, having fun. It was a different life, a bit outside of Vienna. I'm from Austria, Vienna, a bit outside of the big city. I'm the only child, so had pretty much everything. Like my parents did almost everything, like to like for me to have a great childhood, and yeah, really appreciate that. And other than that, I had a lot of friends. Then with 9, I joined like a swimming club, met a whole bunch new friends there, and that's like where the sports journey started.
What was it about your parents that allowed you to have such a good start, do you think?
I mean, they came like in the 80s, 90s, from the Balkans. Like it was like in the middle of the war or before the war. They knew like something's gonna happen, and they don't want like to build life there, and they just wanted like I think for me to have a better life than they had back in the days. So yeah, and I'm very lucky.
Yeah, have you got any siblings, brothers, sisters?
No, but I have
No.
a tons of cousins because like my mom has like nine brothers and
Are
sisters, so a lot.
they
Big
all
family.
quite sporty?
Oh, I mean, yeah, nobody's like into professional sport like I am. So
Mm.
yeah, I mean, they're doing some sports, going in the gym, going out for a run, but they're not like competitive and professional as I am.
I know you did a lot of swimming, right? Were any of your parents a swimmer?
No, no. Like they have no like sport background. I mean I think they just started with sport like with me when I started like swimming. They were also like, oh, could be like good for us also to do something like at least once or twice a week. So they also started like going swimming or going for a bike ride or just for a walk and all that stuff. Used to work like the whole life, like to to get us all afford something, like buy an apartment, buy a house, get a new car, pay all the stuff I needed, like for school, for training camps, and yeah, I think that was their main priority and not for themselves. Like, uh, yeah,
Is family quite important to you? Do you still see them?
yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
live very close by, like 300 meters away. Like it's a 5-minute walk. So yeah, I have two dogs. I have a girlfriend, and I'm. I mean, the last couple of years, when I started like this big HYROX journey, I started also traveling around the world, and I'm not often at home since I quit my job, even less at home. So I need them. I need them to be around to take care of the dogs, and I need them to be at some point at my competitions to know I have they're having my back and all that stuff. So yeah, it's and they're really important to me. Yeah.
That's cool. Any plans to? Do you want to have children?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, now like the whole HYROX thing is getting bigger and bigger. Maybe not now, but in the next, like, let's say like 3 to 5 years,
Mm.
somewhere there. Yeah, for sure.
You mentioned you quit your job. Was that the teaching job?
Yes, yes, yes. I used to be a teacher for elementary school, like around 5 years. But yeah, in the last time, like HYROX has gotten bigger and bigger, more sponsors getting in, more money getting in, and yeah, I was thinking of like more than 1 year, like about quitting it, and then I was like, okay, I'm not sure 100%. And until I'm not sure 100%, I will keep like that job. And now with like signing with like really, really good sponsors and being really safe, I said, okay, let's gonna try and go on another journey, go on the journey like being a full-time professional athlete and focusing just on sport. And yeah, now I have the opportunity to do that for at least like let's say 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know how long, but I'm gonna explore that. Yeah.
Was this after you won the world champs? You decided to quit, or
No,
did you quit earlier than that?
yeah, I was thinking, I was even earlier thinking about it quitting, but I just quit my job like 2 weeks ago. So
Oh, right, right, right. It was 2 weeks ago. Wow.
yeah.
Okay. All right. How's that feel?
I mean, I'm quite busy right now, like preparing for Chicago in 2 months for the next World Championships, traveling a lot. And right now I'm on training camp in Fuerteventura, Spain. So next week I'm in Singapore and then I'm in Portugal. So really getting ready and focusing on Chicago. And yeah, but I'll see it at September, like when like school starts without me, and then I'll get into some kind of a routine, like without having actually go to work. So yeah, I think I'll spend like more time training, more time recovering, more time with my family, friends, dogs, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you think do you think there's a career in HYROX for most people, or do you think it's reserved for you guys that are in like those top five places?
I mean, it depends. Like, do you see like the career as an athlete, or you can have a career as a
Mm,
coach also
yeah.
into HYROX. You can be all around all that stuff. Everything is needed. Like in HYROX, you can be a race director, you can be a good judge. There's like HYROX
Mm,
made so many jobs, and a couple of elite athletes also like quitting their jobs and focusing on this journey. So yeah, for me, it's like I have a small career. Like I started 2018. I'm like now 7 years into HYROX. I
yeah.
think I have like a couple more good years left in me, especially now when HYROX is getting bigger and bigger. Like the next year there will be more than like 1 million people like racing a HYROX. More people than running a marathon or a half marathon all around the globe. So the numbers are going crazy. And so more and more people's like sponsors getting interested and big brands getting interested to join the sport. And yeah, I think now is a good time. I'm like 32 years old. I'm more or less in my prime, um, especially when it comes to endurance sport. I think you can go like easily until 40. You
Mm,
just have to check up the Ironman, the triathletes, the long distance. So it's possible, but like it's as it gets more interesting for people, like it's getting more and more competitive, and so it's getting harder and harder to stay at top.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's something I think about a lot is like what it's going to be like in the next few years. Like what's the peak going to be? You know, how far is it really going to go? Did you see Men's Health magazine had Jake Dearden on the front of it?
Yeah, I saw the post of him, yes, recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the first time a HYROX athlete's been on the front, right?
Yes, yes, on the Men's Health magazine, yeah.
Yeah. Have you had any approaches from like mainstream outlets, media at all?
I mean, yeah, in Austria, Germany, and we did a couple of stuffs, even with TV and all that kind of things. Even with Red Bull, the Bulletin magazine, I've been featured in there. So yeah, there's quite a lot going going on. Like the last years, it's as I said, like the big brands, the big sponsors coming in.
Mm, yeah, it's cool. How was you raced Cologne recently? Was that right?
Yeah, I think last week. Yeah,
Yeah.
like 5 days ago.
54:43. Is that a PB in the pro?
No, like my personal PB is a 54 low, and the world record is 53:20 something.
Oh, I always get when I'm doing my research on like high result, I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, that's elite, that's pro. It's always I find it quite hard to figure it all out.
I
Um,
mean, elite is like pro.
sure,
Like
yeah,
there is no elite extra competition. Elite is only the field of the 15
yeah,
fastest pro times. Like yeah.
yeah. It must feel like a different race though, right? Even though the weights are the same. Do you think? Can you?
I mean, yeah, racing elite, like racing in a
Mm,
major or racing world champs in that elite field is for sure different because you're not racing for time, you're racing for position. It's more, I always like to compare it like to Formula One because at the end of a Formula One race, nobody cares about the time, like how
mm,
fast the first man was. The same is in HYROX. In an elite major race, nobody cares about the time at the end. It's about the position, and it's even during the race. It's all about strategy, tactics, like watching the others when they get fatigued, how they do their runs, how they get into the station, do they use their runs for the recovery, do they push the stations and all that stuff, and you're trying to get into the brains and into the heads of the competitors, and yeah, it's more like that. That's why also the transition is very hard for new athletes coming into the elite field, like from racing a pro for just for time, and then they qualify for a major, and yeah, you need to race these races to get the experience in, and then get better from this point.
yeah, that's one of the things I was going to ask you actually. So, you've been around from like the early days of High Rocks. How long have you been in the elites for?
I think the elite series started in 2021, and yeah,
Oh,
I've
has that
been
only
in there
been right? Okay,
from the
yeah,
very beginning. Yeah, after COVID, like before was no elite.
yeah,
There were only like the world champs in 2019, but this was not an elite something. And then I think 2021 they started, and then 2022, 2022, 2023 season they introduced like this elite 15 series, and then from last season we have the majors. Like I like to call them like the
yeah,
Grand Slams of HYROX, like Grand
yeah,
Slam in tennis, and the four majors are like this in HYROX. Yeah.
yeah. No, that makes sense. My first High Rocks was in 2023, so yeah, so I didn't know it before there wasn't an elite race. So
Hmm.
were you like straight into the elites then? With if that was the case?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So that's what
Yeah,
you're saying is yeah, if you're racing pro, that transition, like you say, is gonna be very different. What I have a question around that actually, like how what does your like pacing strategy look like for an elite race? Because probably most of us who are racing high rocks, we're all thinking about times, um, but it's totally different. How do you know when to push and when not to push.
That's what I said, like when it comes up like to watching your competitors, how they feel during a race, if you can see them struggle and then try to push hard and like get a small gap in front of them. But more or less, like everybody is different. You need to find your individual race strategy. Some like to hold back at the beginning and then push hard at the end, and then come up at the end and try to win the race or get on the podium. Some are like going crazy fast at the very beginning and trying to survive until the end and
Hmm.
trying not to get like passed. So it's really, really individual, and I think the best athletes like can really read the race and can change their own strategy and can adapt to the other athletes during the race. And I think that will also be like in Chicago a thing. If you wanna win a race, you really need to be like adaptable to the strategies and to the other athletes and everything around them to win it. I don't think like that anyone can win it like from the very beginning, going hard and trying to survive. That's not gonna work because in this elite field, everybody is strong, even at the end, at the finish. And other than that, if you wait too long at the beginning, it's getting harder and harder to close the gap. Yeah, because like when you're in lead, I know it from me. If you're leading a race, um, you're getting somehow like more motivation and more energy till towards the end of the race, and so it's even harder for somebody who's like already like 60 seconds or 90 seconds behind to catch up.
Yeah. What what's your strategy look like at the moment, if you're willing to discuss? Like, are you changing your approach somewhat this season to last?
I mean, what I can say is like you always look who's your biggest threat or who's your biggest opponent for the next upcoming races. Last year, like Hunter McIntyre was the world champion, and our goal, I think I can speak for all the elite athletes, the goal was like to try to beat him. Like you want to be the best, you need to beat the best. And his strategy was obviously known for going out very hard at the beginning, make a gap, and then try to hold on that and to survive until the very end. And so the strategy was like going with him and see if he might struggles if you are like really next to him until the sled pull or until the burpees. And that was like my strategy for Nice. And this season will not be different. Like I know who my opponents are, I know how they race, and I'll try to adapt my strategy like to the couple of guys I think are my biggest opponents. Yeah.
Who are those two guys?
It's gonna be for sure JK,
Hmm.
James Kelly. He had an amazing season.
I
He
saw him
won.
in Glasgow where he missed the record by 1 second.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He won two of the majors. He was on the pole. He was second, very close behind me in Amsterdam. So he's in great shape this season, and for sure, like he's my number one competitor when it comes like to defending my world title like this year. And yeah, other than that, it's always hard, even like from the last chance qualifier in I think 2 weeks or next week, somebody can be a threat. You never know.
Mm.
So once you're in the race, you have a chance. So other than that, the US man will have a huge advantage, like as it's US World Championship race, so they don't have to handle the jet lag that we have to handle. So that's for sure an advantage. But yeah, we're gonna make sure arrive earlier, get ready, be fit on that day, and try to beat them.
Yeah, that's something I always think about. I've not done a High Rocks abroad yet, but I always think like, wow, like the travel and the jet lag. to be able to race at that level and recover is remarkable. Like, you must just be, yeah, okay. That's an interesting, like, how do you keep a lid on that, like, excitement? How do you able to get yourself like into recoveries mode like pretty quick, after you're doing these races and you're traveling and there's all this dopamine and energy and stuff?
I mean, the good thing is, as it's an like really endurance-based sport, you don't need like to taper that much. So it's pretty much enough if you like going down with intensity and volume like the last week before the race. So
Mm.
you don't need to overthink all that stuff because you're not gonna lose your endurance like within 2 days. So yeah, but the main thing like with the traveling is like now US you have to be there at least 7 to 10 days before the race, and then it's you're not doing that much anymore in training. Like
Mm.
you don't do any more like hard, too hard or long sessions. But it's just getting boring. Like you're there, you're in a city, you don't know anybody there, like except of the some HYROX people or the elite guys, and I don't know. And then you're like 7 or 8 days out of the race. You can't like really train. Too much walking around is also not like perfect. You can't like do every day like sightseeing or, or all that stuff. So that's one mental thing you need to think of. When you arrive early. But yeah, it's not like it's our first time. Like the elite 15 guys, athletes who are now in there have a lot of experience, have raced several times, even across the globe. So everybody has their like individual routine when it comes to oversea racing. So yeah, we'll see. It will come down like to this one day, who's like right on that day in the best shape of his life and can bring it. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people who, because I, I feel like lots of people are going to be moving up to the pro uh, next season and the end of this season because of the world qualification slot situation. What advice do you have for people moving up to the pro from the open in terms of like the strategy?
Like, I mean, doing an open race or a pro race doesn't matter. It's still in HYROX, so it's still about the running. Like, the better you run, the better you will be, like in a HYROX race. Yeah, for sure. Like the weight is heavier and all that stuff, but if you run better, you will recover faster on the runs. Like, you will run faster and but still recover. So your run needs to get better in the HYROX. But you need to find like your own routine. For example, like how do you build up a week? Let's say you do like two interval sessions of running, one tempo run, one longer run, or one trail run, or it doesn't matter. These are 4 runs, and then you add in like two HYROX specific sessions, two strength sessions, and these are, for example, the sessions you do every week. When do you do them? It's on you. Or you want to focus in one week on the sleds, you want to focus on one week on burpees or wall balls, or there are some athletes who do like every weekend a simulation. That's also really, really individual. But you need to find the right balance in between like endurance, like running, even endurance on the ergs if you want to get better, and um, and the strength part, the HYROX specific part. Like, yeah, but that's the fun about HYROX. Look, you can change your workouts, your training sessions how you want, more or less, and you're still having fun. It's not boring because like you don't do like every day the same. If you're waking up in the morning and you're not like in the mood to go out for a run, or the weather is like raining outside, snowing outside, I don't know, you can say, okay, let's go hit the gym, like do some ergs, or do some bodybuilding, like weightlifting, or I don't know, or hit the bike. Doesn't matter. Uh, as long as you do something what makes you better as an athlete, it will help you develop like getting better as an HYROX athlete, because like it's a big journey. It's not like I race like 3 times open and now I'm ready to race a pro race. It takes time. Like the HYROX, the sport is pretty new. Like your body needs time to develop like an economy for all the movements. Like you never did wall balls before, so start your journey like by doing wall balls for months, for years, every week. Like count your reps, do as many reps as possible, not just on the wall balls, on the ergs. You need the kilometers in. The body needs like to develop, to find their economic, to learn how to do these exercises with less effort, you know, and then you start getting better. So it's not like something you develop in a short amount of time.
Yeah, no one wants to hear that, do they? Like, yeah, you need to be doing HYROX for 3 years, basically, to 3 to 6 years, something like that. Yeah, I feel like I've been just doing it just over 2 years, I think now, and I finished my last race, and I was really pleased. And I'm like, okay, maybe like 1 more year, I could maybe looking at World Championship slot. And then they changed it from the Open. I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I've done pro before, but I think if you're not if strength isn't your advantage, then pro is a bit harder, right?
For sure, but we are looking about to get new turfs.
Hmm.
There are new turfs. I think they will set it up first time at the World Champs in Chicago.
Yeah.
So this will also be a big thing. Like, what are the new turfs? Like, are they easier? Are they harder?
Mm,
Maybe it might be they're a lot easier. So the pro will feel like an open, and the open will be even easier. So more runners will come into the sport, you know.
yeah.
You never know.
It's going to be
Will
interesting
it
to
be?
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because there'll be so many people like me going right up to pro, and then I do wonder if in a few years it changes again and there's some other division
Yeah,
or
I don't know. Maybe HYROX will then adapt the weights, or I don't know,
mm,
because like I think that's the main thing. What HYROX is about. Like they're bringing like the runners and like the weightlifters together. So the runners need to do some strength to get better at HYROX, and weightlifters or the guys who are going into the gym need to do some running, some endurance to get better in HYROX. So they're
mm,
bringing like these two big communities together, and that's what HYROX makes so special.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, now thinking about it now, you couldn't imagine life without High Rocks. I'm sure you definitely couldn't. But it seems so obvious in the fitness world now. Why wouldn't you
Yeah.
put these things together? Um, I watched your post race interview after you won the world championship, and one of the things you said was that you'd always wanted to be a world champion in something that was like a life goal. What was it like after you won that in the weeks, months afterwards? Once things settled down, like how did that feel?
I mean, yeah, right after you need for sure a couple of days like to realize what you just achieved, because it's not a thing you achieved like because of the last 2 months of training before a championship, because it was like the whole journey. It started when my parents registered me for the swimming club when I was 8 years old, and then from then on, like every day, waking up at 5 o'clock, jumping in the water before school, back again after school for training sessions, staying longer, hitting the gym after, and then years for years, and then starting with triathlon, then starting with HYROX, this journey, and more or less every day of my life until now was like training. I did something almost every day. I mean, yeah, for sure you have days when you're sick or I don't know, but more or less it was like my full life. I dedicated my whole life to this, to achieve this, or to be the best version of myself. So yeah, it took me a couple of days for sure to realize. But then, if you are an athlete on this level, you're crossing the finish line, you win this thing, and then it's like, okay, I need to get back to training. Like next season, like this season is over, next season is around the corner. So there is always work to do and and get better. This season is gonna be even harder because now everybody is like chasing you and trying to get your spot. Like you're not anymore like the second who wants to be the best. You are first, and everybody else wants your place. It's even harder to defend, but I'm trying not to think that much about it. Like I'm the person who I am, who wants to just get better in the sport, and I know in which position the other elite athletes are. I've been there like for I don't know 6 7 years in HYROX and even many more years in swimming before, and yeah, I really enjoyed the season, but I was not training less. I was training hard to get better, and I even developed even more as a runner. Uh, and it might be like that my strength numbers are not like better, but my strength endurance is for sure. I got better like HYROX specific. It took me also like 3 4 years to get the wall balls at the end unbroken. That's also I think you need to learn to do this under fatigue, like under any circumstances. You need to finish them unbroken. Doesn't matter if you are tired or fucked up from the 8 kilometers of running before, or if you went way faster than you should on the lunges before. You need to go unbroken on the wall balls, otherwise you won't win a race. And yeah, a lot of this is also mindset. Uh, at the end, what makes the difference, because like at the end of the day, like you are all on a good fitness level, but the mind decides a lot, who's gonna first and who's gonna take like second or third.
I'm so excited to tell you about my first ever sponsor. Bear Bar make the highest quality shower soaps. Those of you close to me will know I'm always recommending and gifting them to people. I've actually brought some upstairs from my bathroom to show you. This one is Nebula Nightshade, Fresh Cut Pine. This is one of the first ones that they made. It's got like this OT kind of texture thing. I once described it to Christian, the founder, as like a cheese grater for my feet in a good way. Favorites are Woodsman, Molten Lather, is actually a shampoo bar, and Citrus Burst, which I've used all of that, so I don't have it. Do you remember those like packs you used to get with Pokemon cards? They're kind of like that. They stack it in your bathroom really nicely. You'll definitely dig it. Once you try these, you will never want to go back to £1.99 squeezy plastic horrible fairy liquid style soaps. Trust me, it's an absolute game changer. I don't even bother with moisturizer because I've got this fantastic quality soap and a good diet, of course. There's no plastic. It's made in the UK. Honestly, it's just a 5-star product all around. If you'd like to try Bear Bar, you can get 15% off your first order by going to bit.ly/bearjace. That's BAREJASE to get 15% off. Those last 10 wall balls were at the World Championships and Michael Sambach's screen breaks. And of course, like people focus on like that being difficult for him, but I was thinking that must have been like a bit of a head fuck for you, because you're like what, like 90, his screen goes off, and then you're just thinking,
I think it was a bit before when
was
his when
it
his screen got off, and yeah, I was like leading, I think, one or two wall balls
right?
already. Yeah, and then he stopped again, and I knew like I have like a bit of an advantage and some reps in front of him. So yeah, but I already knew like coming into the wall balls, like doing like 10 15 of reps. I knew he's gonna struggle because I realized him doing the reps very slowly. And I was like, even if he's not like breaking, I'm gonna catch him just by doing
Mm,
the reps faster. And then when he did his first rest, I was like, okay, I'm gonna beat him. And but there was also JK on the other side. I needed to make sure that he's not catching up, and then he also did a rest. So yeah, I just enjoyed it. Like it's yeah, I mean, if you once you hit 90 and you know like nobody's gonna take that away from you anymore, then it's like really special. You're just trying to enjoy. You're in your own world. And for me, it was really, really an un unbelievable moment. And it's like all the years of hard work finally paid off, even if it took me like 25 years of doing sports and being into a sport. But I hope this was also like a big inspiration for a lot of athletes out there who are struggling or maybe might don't know if they're gonna continue in their sports or you never know when you get your big breakthrough, you know. Uh, mine took me like 25 years, but now I'm really at the top of this sport and I enjoy it for as long as and hold on for as long as I can, like and I'm still doing everything I can like to stay here and push the boundaries, push the limits like of the sport.
yeah, that's cool. I think one thing that's so cool about HYROX is like the age categories as well. It's like everyone can compete in their sector, you know. So if you're the sort of person that says, "Do you know what? I'm going to give this like 5 years," you probably do quite well within your own age category, and I think it's just a beautiful thing. I fucking love it.
It's a great motivation for everybody. Like it doesn't matter which age you are, if you are 16 or if you are 76, you can compare yourself to the rest of the world in your age group. Then you have the doubles, then you have the relays. So it's really if you have the adaptive category now.
Mm,
HYROX kits will be invented also soon. So it's gonna be there's a lot. I mean, they did a great job like with the sport and motivating people and keep them like moving. That's the most important.
yeah, yeah, for sure. What about fueling and nutrition? Like your strategy when it comes to building up to a race? Do you have any methods that you follow?
I mean, nothing special. I take care that my hydration is on point, like with electrolytes and water and more or less, and then loading carbs before a race for sure, like a day or 2 days before max. And that's it. Nothing special. Taking care like before a race, like 3 to 4 hours, the last bigger meal, and then like maybe a snack an hour before, and then just hydration. And then during a race, I don't take anything. uh, I might take like a sip of water after the rower or a sip of electrolytes, but that's it. That's it.
Mm, no
Because like
gels.
you're in the race, you're 55 minutes in the race. Every second can decide at the end. So it's and if you're taking something, you really need to take care when and how.
Mm. Would I suppose you mainly race at night, do you? But do you ever do any morning races?
I did some like Cologne on Sunday was like 11:30 something. So yeah,
Yeah.
breakfast, heading to the venue, race. I also did one in the first heat, like at 8 in the morning.
Hmm.
Then it's for sure even harder. Yeah, then like you need to wake up pretty early. Like you don't want like wake up, go there and race. You want your body like to be awake and try to get your body as ready as possible for what comes. But yeah,
Mm.
then you might eat a bit less, nothing too heavy, and try still to get your carbs in, to get your hydration on point. And but that's also things you have to take care of. during training.
Yeah.
Like I know like most of the people have like 9 to 5 jobs, and then it's hard, but you have the weekends, you have the Saturdays, you have the Sundays where you can practice like working out in the morning, having
Hmm.
breakfast before, having no breakfast before, and then you can see like what suits you better.
Hmm.
You you feel the breakfast. If you feel the breakfast, it might be better just to drink something or hydrate something, or uh, find some food which is good like for you before the race. Like you need to play, you need to adapt to all the circumstances what can appear during the race, like racing during the day, racing late, so all that stuff. But that's everything you need to work on in your training, in your daily routine.
Mm. Yeah, that's why it's so important to race more as well, isn't it? I suppose you're trying out all these different environments and timings
Mm.
and stuff. I remember, like for me, the last race, I didn't find out my time until I think it was 36 hours before. It was really late, and I had a very early start. It was the 8 o'clock wave, so I was like, I didn't want to upset my body clock by getting up a lot earlier. So I was like, I'm just going to get up the exact same time. So I literally woke up 20 minutes to shove something down me. And then I ran to the venue for my warm up. And then it actually went really well, though.
Yeah,
Uh,
sometimes like adrenaline kicks in, and so you're,
yeah.
oh, yeah, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, and then you start, and it's pretty good. But sometimes you're nervous, you know.
Yeah.
So there are so many circumstances that can make the difference.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think are your most improved stations?
Over the years,
Yeah, like what's the one thing you've really had to work at?
I mean, it might have been like the sleds, because like
Mm.
back in the days, nobody was like talking about the grip or about shoes or all that stuff. So we used to race in simple trainers, simple sneakers, and now it's all about the shoes. The best shoe wins. So yeah, sled push was always like pretty good, but sled pull I needed like to get better, like technique wise, and learn like how to use more my body weight
Mm.
and all that stuff. But other than that, I approved, I think, on all of the stations. I remember my first wall balls like took me like 8 or 9 minutes in my first race, and now I'm down like to 340. So
Yeah.
I think that's also a big improvement. And yeah, as I said, like I had a big swimming background, so like all the erg stuffs, the burpees, these are all like exercises I did before, and I was really used to. And it was like the sled was new, the wall balls were new, and yeah, these are the stations I improved the most for sure.
Do you think there's a prevalence of PEDs in HYROX?
I mean, all elite athletes have signed like an agreement, like that we're not going to use it and that we are against it and all that stuff. And yeah, like for me, this was never like a thing, or I was like a thing, or I was like thinking a lot about this, because like yeah.
A lot of people talk like gossip around, oh, look at these huge guys that are able to run this fast. And people talk about steroids a lot. No one really talks about it that much. And that's not me suggesting that I think that anyone's on them. I just wondered what you guys thought about the conversation around it. And like, are they doing testing? Did they're testing like the top three or something?
Yeah, they're always testing like the top three and two random picks. Like 5 people are always like tested at every major and at the worlds.
Okay.
I heard even at some, like I don't know which race it was, like in Belgium, or I don't know. Uh, they did like some tests too, like on a random race, and that was quite interesting. But other
Was
than
that
that, like,
in an elite race or just a regular?
no, not an elite, just a random
Oh
race.
wow.
Like,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Other than that, I don't know. Like, I know like that's a thing like in really professional sport when it comes to a lot of money, but HYROX isn't that big right now. And these, if you want like to take these drugs like professional, and you need a doctor by your side, you need a whole team by your side, and that's also
Mm,
very expensive. And I don't think like you can, as a like HYROX athlete, even if you want it, like you can't afford it, you know. So
mm.
yeah, but yeah. Um, and once you are like elite athlete like we are on our level, and you train that hard, and if I see the other elites, I don't think like anybody is like taking anything, because like everything they have or like anything they achieved, it seems like it's hard work, you know. So you never know like 100%, but that's not my problem, you know. I'm focusing on myself, trying to do the best I can, like to get better, to train harder, and for sure, if it comes out one day that like on that specific day they were like taking something and they were not clean, and I lost the race or I got second, for sure it's not fair. But that's sport, you know. It's not the first time it would happen. So
You know they do those the top three and then the two random. Has anyone been so no one's ever been caught on the two random or anything?
I haven't heard anything. So it's like you get tested, and then if you hear something back, then
Yeah,
you're in trouble. If you don't
yeah,
hear anything, then it's good. So I haven't heard anything. So I think so far all the major races, racers who were tested like are clean. Yeah.
yeah. It's good to know. I'd be interested to see what happened in that random race.
Yeah, for sure. That would
It,
be
it,
might be interesting, but yeah. Yeah.
yeah, there's like yeah, you're definitely seeing like the amateur races some absolute monsters.
I mean, yeah, but whoever does this knows when to stop before a competition. So it would be more interested like to test some people like during their trainings. Like
Mm,
for example, now I'm at training camp in Spain. Like if now somebody knocks on the door and say, hey Alex, let's get some tests,
mm,
and that would be more interesting than the competition tests. You know, the out of
yeah.
competition tests that are spontaneously, and you don't think of. That's when like I think most of the people get like caught.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But as I said, like the sport is too small, and there's these tests also cost a lot of money. And yeah, I don't think where the journey goes, if HYROX wants to be like an Olympic sport or not.
Mm,
Uh, and even if I'll not be racing, because it's not going to happen before like 2036, 2040. So, and then at this time, I'm definitely out of HYROX. And yeah, that's not my problem anymore.
what are you doing in 2036? Do you think?
No, I don't think so. Like I'm gonna do like maximum 5 years, and then I'm gonna
Yeah,
focus on
no.
family.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What do you think you'd be doing in 2036? Are you
Well,
coaching? Are you?
no, I'm not a coach. I'm not
No.
a HYROX coach. I don't want to coach, because I've seen all the stuff, and I know how hard it is. Like being a good coach, like you
Mm,
really need to be like uh, have time and really get into each individual and help them like really to get better. It's easy like to set some plans and give them to the people. But if you really want to coach somebody, like that's also a really hard and full-time job. So yeah, I'm not thinking that long, like long term. I'm might be still into HYROX, like and I don't know, give some advices or being able to do some commentary maybe if they invite me or some stuff. But no, I'm gonna be focusing on family and let's see. Like I'm trying now to build as much as possible, have some projects, do some workshops, seminars, and so maybe in 10 years I don't need to work anymore.
Yeah, the seminars would be interesting. Is that something you're working on now, or just like down the line, maybe?
Yeah, I started doing a couple of them. Like next week, I'm gonna be in Singapore.
All right.
They invited me to do two workshops and seminars there. And it's not my first time. I've been in Italy, I've been in Spain, I've been in France. So I've been at quite a lot of places. Like as the HYROX gyms are growing, like there are more and more HYROX gyms around the world.
Mm,
People are reaching out, like saying, like, "Hey, I just opened my gym. We want to have you like hold a workshop there and give us some seminars and
mm.
just talk about HYROX." And so it's a big opportunity, like for us athletes or HYROX coaches, doesn't matter. Um, yeah, to spread HYROX around the world and make some money.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Hunter came to our gym, Cumbria Strength and Conditioning. So yeah, if you ever want to come do a gig in the UK, are you doing any UK races? Do you think?
This season not anymore, but next season for sure, for sure. Yeah.
Do you know where you're going to be yet? Oh,
It's gonna be London or Manchester, one
yeah,
of these.
nice,
Yeah.
cool. Um, yeah, well, if you we're near Manchester, so if you want to come give a seminar, I'll put a good word in. I did saw some questions from my audience, so if we can wrap through some of these. Okay, so Hyrox Hour says, "What does it feel like living in Hunter's Head rent free?"
That's that's a nice question. I mean, he's a solid guy. I mean, he's fun. He's like you imagine like US guy should be. He's fun. He's show all the
Hmm.
time, and he's a hard worker. I'm
Hmm.
sure like he's one of the hardest workers in the US in this scene like CrossFit and hybrid HYROX and all that stuff. And he loves what he does. He has like a big he has a big engine, but he's also like we had a couple of beers the last years, and we were always like fun, fair, respectful, like with each other. So solid athlete, and yeah, I like to be there for sure. I like to. I loved the years of hunting him, and now he's hunting me. So it's always like back and forth with him.
Yeah, that's cool. When I met him, he was totally different to what I expected he'd be. Like in real
Yeah,
life,
yeah,
he's much more
yeah,
like seems
yeah,
much more
yeah,
humble.
yeah.
Rachel M says, "How has life changed from the norm now that you are world champion?"
I mean, nothing special. I'm like the same guy I've been before. I might travel a bit more. I might have a bit more time for training and all that stuff. But as I said, like I was working until last Monday, still at school. So I woke up in the morning, went out with my dogs, went to school, went for work, came home, had lunch, was again with the dogs, went for training, and that was my day. That's it's nothing big, nothing special. But now, as I said, like I quit my job, I have more time for training. I will be maybe more on training camps, maybe give a couple of workshops, a couple of seminars more during the year. But that's it. I'm still a lot with family. I'm a lot with my girlfriend. I'm a lot with my friends, and you need to keep the right balance if you want to do a sport like long term, and be good at the sport like long term.
Dave T says, should the rules for burpee broad jumps be changed to outlaw energy-preserving hacks like flopping, kneeling, and stepping up movements?
It's a good question. And for me personally, that doesn't matter. If they change it, I will adapt. So I think all the other elites think the same. Um, but you have to think of if there is like a small little thing in the rules who gives like a
Yeah.
space for I don't know how to
Interpretation.
say. Yeah, for
Yeah.
interpretation, people
Yeah.
will use it. Like it's
Yeah.
not just in HYROX, it's in not just in sports, it's in everything
It's
we
in
do.
nature. The river will
It's
always
yeah,
go
yeah, yeah,
the
for sure.
easiest way.
Everybody's looking like to sneak in
Yeah.
somewhere and make it with make the most out of it with like less effort. So
Mm.
yeah, for me it's the stepping up thing for sure because it's jumping back, stepping forward because like it keeps your heart rate down and it's not much slower.
Yeah.
And other than that, like, yeah, if you do a double, a pro double or a double race, a fast double race, then you're not stepping. Then you're like jumping, 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 and
Yeah.
then you change. But yeah, we can talk about the knee thing or I don't know, but I think they changed the rule that you now just can have like two contacts. Like you can't do any more like knee, feet, so
Yeah.
foot. So you need to like step up like after one knee or something.
Yeah.
So they adapted it a bit, but yeah, as long as there is room for interpretation, there will be like a lot of, and especially now with social media and every race, somebody gets filmed like doing some not perfect like
Yeah.
execution of some workouts, and yeah, that goes viral, and then like HYROX needs to take care of it, and so yeah. But it's still a young sport. It's 6, 7 years. So for sure, in a couple of years, the standards will be maybe even higher and better set, and not they will not leave so much room for interpretation. Yeah.
Yeah. Be interesting to see. Reese M says, "What's your why for training?" I presume that means HYROX as well. What's your why?
It has always like my biggest why was like becoming the best of the world in just one particular thing or in one sport, and that's a thing I achieved. But it has always like been like you versus you, getting better every day, seeing where this leads. Sticking to one thing, and as long as you can, and trying to make the best out of it, and staying dedicated, and motivate and inspire other people's just to get to a healthier lifestyle, or to just give them a reason like to get fitter. So I inspired so many like people are writing and texting me like I did my first HYROX because of you, and that simple message is worth so much, and it makes me really happy when I get these kind of messages. And yeah, I still see me like as one of the first guys who started with HYROX, and I want and I saw the community growing like over the past 6, 7 years, like from 300 people at an event like to now 20,000 people at a weekend. So it's crazy, and I really want to like give something back and motivate and inspire people like getting to a healthier lifestyle, and even getting PBs and getting better at the sport.
Cool. I have a little section. It's called Overrated, Underrated, and I'll go through food, exercise, supplement, habit. So if we start with food, could you tell me an overrated food and then one that's underrated?
Overrated. Whoa, that's hard. I like almost everything. Let's say vegetables, like
Vegetables.
any kind of, yeah.
So underrated would be vegetables. Or,
No,
or
overrated.
oh, you find you think vegetables are overrated.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, underrated food then.
Underrated, especially in sports. Um, it might be a meat or a pizza or something like that.
Exercise.
Underrated should be like climbing or bouldering. All this I love to do. It's like, but I figured it out like really, really late, like last years. So it's really fun, especially doing it out there on the rocks and in the nature.
Oh, cool. So do you do that your off season?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Even during season, yeah, sometimes like with friends, just or badminton should is also a nice thing. Yeah, and um, overrated soccer, like football.
Interesting.
Simple, like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there's way too much money in this sport. Yeah,
What about supplement? Underrated supplement.
underrated. What I like to use like recently is ashwagandha.
Do you have
You
that in
heard
the
of it?
evening?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like to improve like sleep and reduce stress and all that
Mm,
stuff. Yeah.
nice. And overrated.
Just protein shakes. So yeah,
Mm.
just yeah.
Habit. Underrated habit.
Underrated have like discipline. Waking up in the morning and doing every day like the same, and doing it that long, like until you really achieve something.
Yeah. What about overrated? Yeah, overrated habit.
Be, being on time.
I like it. As someone who's always late, I like it. All right. A few more questions before we finish it up. So if you could send a 60-second video to every HYROX participant in the world that was looking to improve their time, what would you say to them?
I would for sure say like HYROX is an endurance-based sport. Focus on the runs. Uh, be consistent over time. Be patient because like building an engine, building a big base that needs time, but it will help you like um, get better and stay longer fit, not just for one race, for a couple of races, and it will keep you fit for not just HYROX, so for life, and work on the endurance. Use HYROX and not just train like HYROX, not just HYROX specific, not just running. So go out, have fun with friends, go play badminton, go play tennis, go on a bike ride, and do all that stuff. What makes fun, what improves you like as a person, what improves you as an athlete, and what gets you better. And at the end of the day, it will help you like to get better as an HYROX athlete.
Perfect. Thank you. Next race. When's your next race? Plans, goals, 2025. I presume the goal would be to. I think we know what
Yeah,
the goal is.
yeah. I'm right now like in a big training block, so I'm gonna race a double in Berlin, like middle of May, I think 17th, 18th of May. So yeah, and for me, just a small check to see like how training goes, how my runs are, how strong I'm on the stations, and doing it in a double is like the impact on the body is not that high, so I'm gonna recover very fast and get back to work. And yeah, that's the only race like I'm doing like before Chicago. Then Chicago, the main focus is for sure defending the title, and that's also the main race. And there's gonna be like the national relay race on Sunday, I think. So that's also a fun one. I'm looking forward to race like with my teammates against the best countries of the HYROX world.
Oh, cool. And finishing up, what's one question that you need to ask yourself at the beginning of each day? Like a reflection, like what's a good thing to be asking yourself?
At the end of the day, I'm always like asking, what have I done like today to develop, to get better, not just as an athlete, even as a person. And if I can answer this question with a solid answer, then I'm good, and I can sleep well, and then start the next day.
Mm. Do you have like a journaling practice or anything like that?
Um, Not really. Like I have my routines, but
Mm,
there is nothing I really need to stick on,
mm,
because that's when things maybe start to drift away. If you're like too much in these things, like then you wake up in the morning and oh, you came to a race and you didn't pack the right shoes or the right towel or the right drink you used to, and then gets your head's spinning crazy, and then it gets even harder, and then you think like the race is fucked. So I don't have too much of these like little things, little routines, but
Oh, so you
I'm
try and
always.
keep all those things minimal so that you can always be ready.
That's it. That's right.
Yeah, that's cool. Alex, thank you so much. This has been awesome. It's been really nice chatting to you and getting to know you. And I'm
Yeah.
sure my audience will appreciate some of the insights you gave them as well. Where should people go if they want to find out more about you and follow your journey?
I mean, on Instagram, it's just my name, Alexander dot Rončević, and that's it. You can follow me there on my journey. I'm on some HYROX races. If you see me there, for sure, reach out. Can have a little chat. Like community is crazy. It's so nice. Everybody hanging around just there, just being at the venue, and it's really great. So yeah, nothing special. I'm really easy to talk to, so reach out, and that's it.
Yeah, I can attest to that too. Thank you so much. Yeah, have a great rest of day, and I'll look forward to seeing what happens the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Really enjoyed it. All the best.
Thank you. Hey guys, it's me. Just a quick one before you get going. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to check out the show notes for links to my guest and that 15% off you can get from Bear Bar. Go to bit.ly/bearjace for 15% off your first order. Thanks for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.